Welcome to our sacred prayer community, dear beloved brothers and sisters in Christ. Welcome to this sacred space where we gather in unity to seek the powerful intercession of Saint Anthony of Padua, the wonder-worker of the Church. Whether you are a long-time devotee or someone discovering the miraculous power of Saint Anthony's intercession for the first time, we invite you with open hearts into this community of faith and hope. Before we begin this profound prayer journey together, we humbly ask you to subscribe to our channel, to join our growing family of believers who seek God's mercy through the intercession of this beloved saint. Your subscription helps us continue sharing these powerful prayers and spiritual resources with souls around the world who desperately need hope, healing, and divine intervention. Please, share this prayer with your family, friends, and anyone facing difficulties in their business, work, or family life. In times of crisis, we must be instruments of God's love, bringing comfort and hope to those who suffer. Your simple act of sharing could be the answer to someone's desperate prayer. Don't forget to like this prayer. If it touches your heart, or if you believe in the power of Saint Anthony's intercession, each like is a small act of faith that helps spread this message of hope to more souls in need. Now let us prepare our hearts for this sacred encounter with our beloved Saint Anthony, knowing that he stands ready to present our urgent needs before the throne of the Almighty. Urgent prayer to Saint Anthony of Padua for miraculous intervention in business, work, and family. Opening invocation. O most glorious Saint Anthony of Padua, wonder-worker of the Church, faithful servant of Jesus Christ, and compassionate intercessor for all who call upon your name in times of desperate need. We come before you today with hearts heavy with concern, minds troubled by uncertainty, and souls yearning for the peace that only divine intervention can bring. In this moment of urgent crisis, when the very foundations of our earthly security seem to crumble beneath our feet, we turn to you, dear Saint, knowing that throughout the centuries, countless souls have found in your intercession the miraculous help they so desperately sought. You who preached with such power that even the fish of the sea listened to your words, hear now our earnest plea for immediate and extraordinary intervention in our business affairs, our work situations, and our family circumstances. Prayer for divine intervention in business seeking Saint Anthony's. Intercession for business prosperity. O blessed Saint Anthony, you who understood the struggles of daily life and the need for God's providence in all human endeavors, we place before you our business concerns with complete trust in your powerful intercession. In these challenging times when economic uncertainty threatens to destroy the work of our hands, when competition grows fierce and resources become scarce, we need not just ordinary help, but miraculous intervention that can only come from the throne of God through your mediation. Dear Saint Anthony, you who were known for your wisdom in temporal matters as well as spiritual ones, we beseech you to intercede for our business ventures. Whether we are entrepreneurs struggling to establish our enterprises, small business owners fighting to survive in an increasingly difficult marketplace, or corporate leaders facing decisions that will affect countless lives, we need your urgent assistance to navigate these treacherous waters. Look with compassion upon our financial struggles, dear Saint. See how we labor day and night, yet our efforts seem to yield little fruit. Witness our anxiety as we watch our competitors prosper while our own ventures struggle to survive. Behold our frustration as doors of opportunity seem to close before us, as contracts are lost, as partnerships dissolve, as investments fail to produce the returns we desperately need. O Saint Anthony, you who multiplied bread for the hungry, we implore you to multiply our resources. Where we lack capital, provide it through your miraculous intercession. Where we need customers, send them to us in abundance. Where we require wise counsel, Guide us to the right advisors. Where we face obstacles, remove them with your powerful prayers before the throne of God. We ask you, dear Saint, to bless our business plans with divine insight. Help us to see opportunities where others see only problems. Grant us the wisdom to make decisions that will not only benefit our material circumstances, but also serve the greater good of our communities and bring glory to God's holy name. Overcoming business obstacles through St. Anthony's power. Most powerful St. Anthony, we come to you in this hour of urgent need, recognizing that the obstacles facing our business are beyond human solution. We have tried every earthly remedy, consulted every expert, implemented every strategy, yet still we find ourselves in desperate circumstances that threaten not only our livelihood, but our very survival. Dear Saint, you who preached with such authority that even the most hardened sinners were moved to repentance, we need that same divine power to work in our business affairs. We need supernatural intervention that can turn impossible situations into testimonies of God's miraculous provision. If our business is struggling with debt, we ask you to intercede for financial breakthrough. Help us to find the resources we need, to negotiate favorable terms with our creditors, to discover new sources of income that will allow us to meet our obligations and restore our financial stability. If we are facing legal challenges that threaten our business operations, we implore you to be our advocate before the courts of heaven and earth. May justice prevail. May truth be revealed. May those who oppose us unjustly be moved to fairness and reasonableness. If our business is suffering from the effects of economic downturns, natural disasters, or other circumstances beyond our control, we ask you to intercede for rapid recovery and restoration. May our losses be turned into gains, our setbacks into comebacks, our defeats into victories through your powerful intercession. O Saint Anthony, you who were granted the ability to work miracles in your lifetime, we need those same miraculous powers to work in our business today. We need contracts to be signed, deals to be closed, partnerships to be formed, investments to be secured, and profits to be realized in ways that can only be attributed to divine intervention, blessing our products and services. Beloved Saint Anthony, we ask you to bless the products we create and the services we provide. May they meet real needs in the marketplace. May they bring genuine value to our customers. May they be instruments of God's providence in the lives of those who use them. If we are in manufacturing, bless our production processes. May our factories run smoothly, our machinery operate efficiently, our workers be safe and productive, and our products be of the highest quality. May our supply chains be secure, our inventory be adequate, and our distribution be swift and reliable. If we are in retail, bless our stores and our sales. May customers be drawn to our establishments. May they find what they need. May they be satisfied with their purchases, and may they return again and again. May our inventory turn quickly, our margins be healthy, and our cash flow be strong. If we are in services, bless our expertise and our client relationships. May we serve our customers with excellence. May we exceed their expectations. May we build lasting partnerships based on trust and mutual benefit. May our reputation grow, our referrals increase, and our client base expand. O Saint Anthony, you who understood the dignity of honest work and the importance of providing for one's family, we ask you to bless all our business activities. May everything we do be guided by Christian principles. May we treat our employees, customers, and competitors with fairness and respect, and may our success be a testimony to God's goodness and provision. Protection from business enemies and competitors. Most protective Saint Anthony, we come to you seeking shelter from those who would harm our business through unfair competition, malicious actions, or destructive practices. In the competitive world of business, we sometimes face opponents who do not operate with integrity, who seek to destroy rather than compete fairly, who use underhanded methods to gain advantage. Dear Saint, You who stood firm against the forces of evil in your own time, we ask you to be our shield against all who would attack our business unjustly. May their schemes fail. May their plots be revealed. May their weapons be turned back upon themselves. If there are competitors who seek to undermine us through false accusations, we ask you to reveal the truth and vindicate our reputation. If there are those who would steal our ideas, our customers, or our employees through deceptive means, we ask you to frustrate their efforts and protect what rightfully belongs to us. If we face corporate espionage, industrial sabotage, or other forms of business warfare, we implore you to be our divine intelligence service, warning us of danger before it strikes and providing us with the protection we need to continue our operations safely. O Saint Anthony, you who were known for your ability to find lost things, we ask you to help us find and recover anything that has been stolen from our business, whether it be money, property, intellectual property, or opportunities that have been taken from us unjustly. Expansion and growth through divine favor. Glorious Saint Anthony, we don't come to you merely seeking survival, but also praying for growth and expansion that will allow us to serve more customers, employ more people, and make a greater positive impact in our communities. We ask you to intercede for the kind of dramatic business growth that can only come through divine blessing. May our customer base expand exponentially. May our sales increase dramatically. May our profits multiply abundantly. May we be positioned to take advantage of emerging opportunities. May we be at the forefront of positive trends in our industry. May we be blessed with the resources and vision to expand our operations. If we are seeking to open new locations, we ask you to guide us to the perfect sites, to favorable lease terms, to successful grand openings that will establish us firmly in new markets. May our expansion be strategic, sustainable, and blessed by God's providence. If we are looking to develop new products or services, we ask you to inspire our creativity, to guide our research and development, to bless our innovation with commercial success. May we be pioneers in our field. May we set new standards of excellence. May we be known for our ingenuity and leadership. O Saint Anthony, you who preach the gospel with such power that your audiences were transformed, we ask you to help us communicate our business message with equal effectiveness. May our marketing efforts be fruitful. May our brand be recognized and respected. May our reputation spread far and wide. Wisdom in business decision-making. Most wise Saint Anthony, we recognize that in business, as in all areas of life, wisdom is more precious than gold. We come to you seeking the divine wisdom that enabled you to counsel kings and paupers alike, to solve complex problems, and to see clearly in situations where others were confused. Grant us, dear Saint, the wisdom to make decisions that will benefit not only our immediate business interests, but also our long-term success and the well-being of all who depend on our business. May we choose the right partners, hire the right employees, invest in the right opportunities, and avoid the pitfalls that destroy so many business ventures. If we are facing major strategic decisions about the direction of our business, we ask you to illuminate our minds with divine insight. Help us to see beyond the immediate circumstances to the long-term consequences of our choices. May we have the courage to make difficult decisions when necessary, and the wisdom to know when to hold firm and when to adapt. If we are struggling with personnel decisions, we ask you to guide us in building the right team. Help us to identify and attract talented individuals who share our vision and values. May we create a workplace culture that brings out the best in everyone, that fosters creativity and productivity, that treats all employees with dignity and respect. O Saint Anthony, you who balanced contemplation with action, prayer with practical service, we ask you to help us maintain that same balance in our business lives. May we never become so focused on profits that we forget our higher purpose. Yet may we also be practical and effective in our operations. Prayer for divine intervention in work and career, seeking employment and career opportunities. Compassionate Saint Anthony, we turn to you now with our urgent needs related to employment and career advancement. In these uncertain times, when job security seems to be a thing of the past, when careers can be derailed by economic downturns, technological changes, or corporate restructuring, we need your powerful intercession to guide us to the right opportunities and to secure our professional futures. Dear Saint, you who understood the dignity of work and the importance of using one's talents in service to others, we ask you to intercede for those who are unemployed and desperately seeking work. May they find not just any job, but the right job, one that matches their skills, meets their needs, and allows them to contribute meaningfully to society. If we are among those who have lost our jobs through no fault of our own, we ask you to heal the wounds of rejection, disappointment, and financial anxiety. Help us to maintain our dignity and hope during this difficult period. May we use this time not just to search for new employment, but to grow in faith, to develop new skills, and to strengthen our relationships with family and friends. O Saint Anthony, you who were known for your ability to work miracles, we need miraculous intervention in our job search. May the right opportunities present themselves at the right time. May our applications be noticed by the right people. May our interviews be successful. And may we be offered positions that exceed our expectations. For those who are underemployed, working in positions that don't utilize their full potential or provide adequate compensation, we ask you to open doors to better opportunities. May their talents be recognized, their contributions be valued, and their careers advance in ways that bring both personal fulfillment and financial security, workplace harmony, and protection. Beloved Saint Anthony, we bring to you our concerns about workplace conflicts, difficult colleagues, and toxic work environments that make our daily lives miserable and threaten our career advancement. We ask you to be our advocate and protector in these challenging situations. If we are dealing with workplace bullying, harassment, or discrimination, we ask you to intervene decisively. May those who oppress us be moved to change their behavior. May supervisors recognize and address these problems, and may we find the courage and wisdom to stand up for ourselves and others who are being mistreated. If we are caught in the middle of office politics, competing factions, or corporate power struggles, we ask you to guide us safely through these dangerous waters. May we maintain our integrity while protecting our careers. May we be diplomatic without compromising our principles, and may we find allies who will support us in times of difficulty. For those who work in dangerous occupations, we ask you to be their protector and guardian. May they be safe from physical harm. May they make good decisions under pressure. And may they return home safely to their families each day. O Saint Anthony, you who preached peace and reconciliation, we ask you to bring harmony to our workplaces. May conflicts be resolved. May misunderstandings be cleared up. May cooperation replace competition. And may our work environments become places where people can thrive and grow. Professional recognition and advancement. Most glorious Saint Anthony, we come to you seeking recognition for our hard work, dedication, and professional achievements. Too often our contributions go unnoticed, our efforts are taken for granted, and our careers stagnate while others advance ahead of us. Dear Saint, we ask you to intervene on our behalf with supervisors, managers, and decision-makers who control our professional destinies. May they see our value, recognize our potential, and provide us with the opportunities we need to advance in our careers. If we are seeking promotions, we ask you to influence the hearts and minds of those who make these decisions. May our qualifications be fairly evaluated. May our track record of success be acknowledged, and may we be chosen for positions that will allow us to use our talents more fully and receive appropriate compensation. If we are looking to change careers or industries, we ask you to guide us through this transition. May we identify the right new direction, acquire the necessary skills and credentials, and make connections that will help us establish ourselves in our new field. For those who are entrepreneurs or freelancers, we ask you to help us build our reputations and expand our client base. May our work speak for itself. May satisfied customers become our advocates, and may our businesses grow through positive word of mouth and referrals. O St. Anthony, you who were recognized as a doctor of the Church for your wisdom and teaching ability, we ask you to help us develop and demonstrate our own expertise. May we become known as leaders in our fields. May we be sought out for our knowledge and skills, and may we use our professional success to serve others and glorify God. Financial security through work. Miracle-working St. Anthony, we bring to you our urgent need for financial security through our work. Many of us are struggling to make ends meet, despite working long hours and giving our best efforts. We need your intervention to help us achieve the financial stability that will allow us to provide for our families and live with dignity. Dear Saint, you who understood the needs of the poor and always advocated for justice, we ask you to intercede for fair wages and benefits for all workers. May employers recognize the value of their employees and compensate them appropriately. May those who are underpaid receive raises that reflect their contributions. And may those who are overworked find relief through better staffing and more reasonable demands. If we are facing pay cuts, reduced hours, or benefit reductions, we ask you to intervene to protect our financial interests. May companies find other ways to reduce costs that don't place the burden on their workers, and may we find alternative sources of income to maintain our standard of living. For those who are struggling with work-related debt, whether from student loans for job training, tools and equipment needed for their trade, or other professional expenses, we ask you to help them find ways to manage and reduce these obligations. May they receive assistance programs, loan forgiveness, or opportunities to increase their income sufficiently to handle their debt burden. O St. Anthony, you who multiplied resources for those in need, we ask you to multiply our earning potential. May we discover new ways to monetize our skills. May we find part-time opportunities that complement our regular jobs, and may we be blessed with windfalls, bonuses, and unexpected financial benefits, work-life balance, and family harmony. Compassionate St. Anthony, we struggle to balance the demands of our work with our responsibilities to our families. Too often we find ourselves torn between the need to succeed professionally and the need to be present for our loved ones. We ask you to help us find the right balance and to protect our family relationships from the pressures of our work lives. Dear Saint, you who valued both contemplation and action, solitude and service, we ask you to help us structure our lives in ways that honor both our professional calling and our family obligations. May we be efficient and effective in our work so that we can be fully present when we're with our families. May we resist the temptation to bring work stress home with us, and may we create boundaries that protect our family time. If our work requires travel or long hours that keep us away from home, we ask you to help us make the most of the time we do have with our families. May we be intentional about creating meaningful connections. May we find ways to stay in touch when we're away. And may our families understand and support our professional commitments. For those whose work schedules conflict with family activities, school events, or important milestones, we ask you to help us find creative solutions. May we be able to adjust our schedules when necessary. May we find colleagues who can cover for us during crucial family moments. And may we never have to choose between our career advancement and our family responsibilities. O St. Anthony, you who preached about the importance of family relationships, we ask you to bless our efforts to be good providers and loving family members. May our work success never come at the expense of our marriages, our relationships with our children, or our connections with extended family. Prayer for divine intervention in family matters, healing family relationships. Most loving Saint Anthony, we come to you with heavy hearts, burdened by the conflicts, misunderstandings, and broken relationships that plague our families. In a world where family bonds are increasingly strained by distance, different values, competing priorities, and unresolved hurts, we desperately need your intercession to heal these wounds and restore harmony to our homes. Dear Saint, you who preach so eloquently about love, forgiveness, and reconciliation, we ask you to work miracles in our family relationships. Where there is anger, bring peace. Where there is resentment, bring forgiveness. Where there is misunderstanding, bring clarity. Where there is distance, bring closeness. Where there is silence, bring communication. If we are dealing with estranged children who have cut off contact with their parents, we ask you to soften their hearts and open the channels of communication. May they remember the love they once shared. May they be willing to forgive past hurts. And may they take the first steps toward reconciliation. If we are struggling with aging parents who are difficult to care for, who resist our help, or who have become demanding and critical, we ask you to give us patience, wisdom, and compassion. Help us to see beyond their behavior to their fears and vulnerabilities, and may we find ways to honor them while also taking care of our own needs. For those dealing with sibling rivalries, old jealousies, or competition for parental attention and inheritance, we ask you to help us move beyond these childish patterns. May we learn to appreciate each other's unique gifts. May we support each other's success, and may we work together for the good of the whole family. O Saint Anthony, you who had such a close relationship with the Christ child, we ask you to help us nurture the childlike qualities of wonder, joy, and unconditional love in our family relationships. May we learn to play together, laugh together, and find delight in each other's company. Protection for children and grandchildren. Protective Saint Anthony, we bring to you our deepest concerns about the safety and well-being of our children and grandchildren. In a world filled with dangers both physical and spiritual, we need your powerful intercession to keep our young ones safe and guide them toward healthy, productive lives. Dear Saint, you who were known for your special love for children, we ask you to watch over our little ones with the same tenderness you showed to the Christ child. Protect them from accidents, injuries, and illnesses. Keep them safe in their schools, their neighborhoods, and their activities. May they be surrounded by positive influences and protected from those who would harm them. If our children are struggling academically, we ask you to intercede for their success in school. May they have teachers who understand their unique needs. May they find the motivation to work hard, and may they develop the skills and knowledge they need for their futures. If our teenagers are making poor choices, getting involved with the wrong crowd, or experimenting with drugs, alcohol, or other dangerous behaviors, we ask you to intervene urgently. May they come to their senses before they suffer serious consequences. May they find the strength to resist peer pressure, and may they make decisions that honor their values and protect their futures. For young adults who are struggling to find their way in life, who seem lost or directionless, we ask you to help them discover their purpose and calling. May they find mentors who can guide them, opportunities that excite them, and the courage to pursue their dreams. O Saint Anthony, you who were a teacher and preacher, we ask you to help us teach our children and grandchildren the values that will serve them throughout their lives. May they learn to be honest, compassionate, hardworking, and faithful. May they develop strong moral character and the wisdom to make good choices. Marriage and spousal relationships. Blessed Saint Anthony, we bring to you our marriages and intimate partnerships, relationships that are meant to be sources of love, support, and joy, but that sometimes become sources of pain, conflict, and disappointment. We ask you to work miracles in these most important relationships, transforming them into the loving partnerships God intended them to be. Dear Saint, you who understood the sacred nature of committed relationships, We ask you to bless our marriages with renewed love, deepened understanding, and strengthened commitment. If we have grown apart from our spouses, may we find our way back to each other. If we have stopped communicating effectively, may we learn to listen with our hearts and speak with kindness. If our marriages are threatened by infidelity, we ask you to intervene urgently. May the unfaithful partner recognize the devastating consequences of their actions. May they choose to end the affair and recommit to their marriage. And may the betrayed spouse find the strength to work toward forgiveness and healing. If we are dealing with financial stress that is putting pressure on our marriages, we ask you to help us find solutions that don't tear our relationships apart. May we learn to work together as a team. May we make wise financial decisions, and may we support each other through difficult times. For those whose marriages are struggling with the challenges of raising children, caring for aging parents, or managing dual careers, we ask you to help us maintain our connection as couples, even as we fulfill our other responsibilities. May we make time for each other. May we continue to nurture our romantic relationship, and may we face these challenges together, rather than allowing them to drive us apart. O Saint Anthony, you who preached about the importance of love and commitment, we ask you to help us love our spouses with the same unconditional love that God has for us. May we be patient with their faults, supportive of their dreams, and committed to their happiness and well-being. Extended family harmony. Merciful Saint Anthony, we ask you to extend your healing touch to our relationships with extended family members, our in-laws, aunts, uncles, cousins, and other relatives who play important roles in our lives. Too often these relationships are sources of stress rather than support, complicated by old grudges, competing loyalties, and different life choices. Dear Saint, you who valued family connections and understood their importance in God's plan, we ask you to help us build bridges where there are gaps, to heal wounds where there are hurts, and to create harmony where there is discord. If we are dealing with difficult in-laws who disapprove of our choices, interfere in our marriages, or create tension in our households, we ask you to help us find ways to maintain respectful relationships without compromising our own values or family priorities. May we learn to set appropriate boundaries while still honoring our obligations to extended family. If there are family feuds that have gone on for years, dividing relatives into opposing camps and causing pain to everyone involved, we ask you to be the peacemaker who brings healing to these ancient wounds. May those who have been hurt find the grace to forgive. May those who have caused harm find the courage to apologize, and may all family members find their way back to love and unity. For families dealing with the challenges of caring for elderly relatives, we ask you to help us work together cooperatively. May we fairly share the responsibilities and costs of caregiving. May we make decisions that honor our loved ones' dignity and wishes, and may we support each other through the difficult times ahead. O Saint Anthony, you who understood the importance of community and mutual support, we ask you to help our extended families become sources of strength and joy rather than stress and conflict. May we celebrate each other's successes, support each other through difficulties, and maintain the bonds that connect us across generations. Financial stability for the family. Miracle-working Saint Anthony, we bring to you our urgent need for financial stability that will allow us to provide for our families' basic needs and give them the security they deserve. So many families today are struggling to make ends meet, worried about losing their homes, unable to afford health care, or forced to choose between basic necessities. Dear Saint, you who always advocated for the poor and understood the struggles of ordinary people, we ask you to intercede for families who are facing financial crises. May they find the resources they need to keep their homes, maintain their health insurance, and provide for their children's needs. If we are dealing with overwhelming debt that threatens our family's stability, we ask you to help us find ways to manage and reduce these obligations. May we be able to negotiate with creditors, consolidate our debts, or find new sources of income that will allow us to regain our financial footing. If we are facing foreclosure on our homes, we ask you to intervene urgently. May we find ways to bring our mortgage payments current. May we be able to negotiate new terms with our lenders. Or may we find alternative housing solutions that will keep our families together and stable. For families with special needs, children or family members with chronic health conditions, we ask you to help us find the financial resources necessary to provide proper care. May insurance companies approve necessary treatments. May we qualify for assistance programs, and may we find ways to balance caregiving with earning the income we need. O Saint Anthony, you who multiplied resources for those in need, we ask you to multiply our family's financial resources. May we discover new ways to increase our income. May we receive unexpected financial blessings. And may we be good stewards of whatever resources we have. Health and healing for family members. Compassionate Saint Anthony, we turn to you with our urgent concerns about the health and well-being of our family members. Whether dealing with chronic illnesses, acute medical crises, mental health challenges, or addiction issues, we need your powerful intercession to bring healing and wholeness to our loved ones. Dear Saint, you who were known for your healing miracles during your lifetime, we ask you to continue that healing ministry in our families today. Touch with your gentle hands those who are sick, comfort those who are in pain, and restore health to those who are suffering. If we have family members battling cancer, heart disease, diabetes, or other serious medical conditions, we ask you to guide their doctors to the right treatments, to help them respond well to their therapies, and to give them the strength to fight their illnesses with courage and hope. If we are dealing with family members who struggle with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, or other conditions that affect their ability to function and find joy in life, we ask you to help them find the right mental health professionals, the right medications, and the right support systems to manage their conditions effectively. For family members struggling with addiction to drugs, alcohol, gambling, or other destructive behaviors, we ask you to intervene urgently. May they recognize the severity of their problems. May they be willing to seek help, and may they find the strength to overcome their addictions and rebuild their lives. If we have elderly family members whose health is declining, we ask you to help us care for them with dignity and compassion. May they be comfortable in their final years. May they feel loved and valued. And may they be surrounded by family when their time comes to return to God. O Saint Anthony, you who brought comfort to the suffering during your earthly ministry, we ask you to continue that ministry of comfort in our families. May those who are sick feel your healing presence. May those who are discouraged find new hope, and may all our family members experience God's love through your intercession. Guidance for family decisions. Wise Saint Anthony, we face so many important decisions that affect our families' futures. Where to live, what schools to choose for our children, how to care for aging parents, whether to have more children, and countless other choices that can have lasting consequences. We need your wisdom to guide us to the right decisions. Dear Saint, you who counseled so many people during your lifetime and who were known for your practical wisdom, we ask you to help us make decisions that will benefit our families both now and in the future. May we consider not just the immediate consequences, but the long-term effects of our choices. If we are considering relocating our families for better job opportunities, improved living conditions, or other reasons, we ask you to help us weigh all the factors carefully. May we consider the impact on our children's education and social connections, the availability of health care and other services, and the overall quality of life in our new location. If we are making decisions about our children's education, whether to choose public or private schools, whether to homeschool, or which colleges they should attend, we ask you to guide us to choices that will help them develop their full potential while staying true to their values. For families dealing with the difficult decision of how to care for aging parents, we ask you to help us find solutions that honor our parents' wishes, while also considering the needs of our immediate families. May we find the right balance between providing care and maintaining our own well-being. O Saint Anthony, you who always sought to do God's will in your own life, we ask you to help our families discern God's will for our major decisions. May we pray together, seek wise counsel, and trust in God's providence as we navigate the choices before us. Protection from family crises. Protective Saint Anthony, we ask you to shield our families from the crises that can tear them apart. Serious accidents, natural disasters, violent crimes, and other traumatic events that can change our lives forever. We need your intercession to keep our families safe and secure. Dear Saint, you who were a powerful intercessor during your lifetime, we ask you to continue that ministry of protection for our families. May we be warned of dangers before they strike. May we be kept safe from harm, and may we be delivered from evil in all its forms. If our families are threatened by domestic violence, abuse, or other dangerous situations, we ask you to intervene urgently. May victims find the courage to seek help, may perpetrators be stopped before they cause more harm, and may all family members find safety and healing. If we live in areas prone to natural disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, or fires, we ask you to protect our families and our homes. May we be prepared for emergencies, may we evacuate safely when necessary, and may we find the resources to rebuild if our homes are damaged or destroyed. For families dealing with the sudden loss of a loved one, we ask you to comfort them in their grief and help them find ways to heal and move forward. May they feel the presence of their loved one in spirit. May they find support from their community, and may they discover new purpose and meaning in their lives. O Saint Anthony, you who understood the fragility of human life and the importance of treasuring our time with loved ones, we ask you to help us appreciate our families while we have them. May we not take our relationships for granted. May we express our love regularly, and may we create lasting memories together. Strengthening family faith. Faithful Saint Anthony, we ask you to help our families grow stronger in their faith and their relationship with God. In a world that often pulls us away from spiritual values, we need your intercession to keep our families grounded in their faith and committed to living according to God's will. Dear Saint, you who were such a powerful preacher and teacher of the faith, we ask you to help us pass on our beliefs to our children and grandchildren. May they not only learn about God, but develop a personal relationship with Jesus Christ that will guide them throughout their lives. If we have family members who have drifted away from their faith, we ask you to call them back to God. May they remember the peace and joy they once found in their relationship with Christ. May they be drawn back to the church, and may they rediscover the importance of spiritual life. If our families are struggling with doubts or questions about their faith, we ask you to help them find the answers they need. May they encounter wise teachers, helpful books, and meaningful experiences that will strengthen their beliefs and resolve their challenge. Holy Mary, protect and guide through His Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Remember to share, comment your supplication to Christ through Saint Anthony of Padua. Do well to subscribe.